going on, my freaks and geeks? This is the Square Roundtable podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Yes, guys, tonight we have a very special guest. She wears many hats and is an actress, DJ, industry coach, and the host of She's All Over the Place. Please, guys, give it up for our wonderful guest tonight, Miss Katie Chonacas.
Thank you. Hi.
What's going on? What's going on?
Rocking and rolling, make it happen. 2021.
Hey, look, we're trying to wrap up 2020 on a good note. That's why we're. I was really overjoyed, like when you reached out to us. I was just like, wow, okay, you want to be on the podcast 100%. Like it wasn't even a question.
1,000. Right when I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, I want that all over that. Hey, what's up? Let's do that. Yeah, I love to uplift and inspire others, and I just saw all the color and I was just like, this is a connection. I just go with my instincts. You know, when you like feel and you see something and you're like, yes, that's it. Your instincts tell you. If you don't listen to it within the first couple seconds, it's gone, and then you're bantering back and forth with that monkey mind of like, should I do it? Should I do? And then you like miss the opportunity. You have to like smell it, catch it, and run with the fun. And I'm feeling giddy. I was telling you guys, like I'm like super giddy inside. I'm like really excited. Yeah.
Great to hear.
That's what's
good
up.
to hear.
No, we completely appreciate it, and a lot of it, it's all thanks to my guys here. We're such a team, man. Like I love the work that Joshua does. Like a lot of the color and the vibe you get, like that's all because of him. A lot of our color scheme, the purples and the reds in our design, that was all from that guy's mind. He put it together. And I always tell people when they ask me, well, how do you get a podcast? How do you start up a podcast? All that good kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm the worst person to ask because of Joshua's design that he made, we got radio recognitions from radio stations immediately. People started checking us out immediately. And this is because of, the look of what we had. So, and the vibe. Yeah. So
that, Chad.
And it's funny because you're wearing all gray right now, and we're like popping with like the red, the orange, the yellow, and the blue, and like gray. And I have a purple background, so it's like we have all the color going on. And Josh is gray, but of course, like
this is the vibe.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the vibe.
Yeah, beautiful smile you have. Look at those pearly white teeth. Wow.
Right.
Colgate should be calling you for like that sponsorship deal. Or like one of those organic toothpaste companies, right?
Yeah.
No fluoride.
We need that sponsorship immediately. So, Colgate, come on with it. We got the smiles. So.
Insert product placement here,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, Katie, so how you been holding up? Because I know a lot has been going on lately, and I know you do voiceover and a lot of that good stuff. Has having a quarantine affected how you work as far as acting is concerned?
Big time. I'm taking a big deep breath, a couple deep breaths over here. Huge. I had no idea until it happened, but let me tell you, I have my own home studio. Thank God.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome.
Thank the Lord. Yeah, I have my own home studio. So right now I'm on this Sheer SM7B, which is great for podcasting. It's a dynamic mic. It's great for poetry, music. A compressor mic is actually better for voiceovers. It picks up the full richness of the voice instead of a directional mic is good if you're in a loud place because it'll only pick up what's here. But the condenser mic is actually better, and I have a soundproof studio. So in my home studios, so it's great for voiceover having a compressor mic. But when the pandemic started in March, voiceovers went from 5 days a week to 7 days a week, 24 hours.
Wow.
Since March, I have been doing voiceover auditions. Since March, I've only had 2 weekends where I didn't, and I would count it down. Cause what I do is after the week is done, I'll count my voiceover auditions and I'll put a little number so I can be proud of myself and then look at the collective of how many I did in 1 month. So I can keep track of what I'm doing with my time and my energy and everything. And so you can't do it on a Saturday or Sunday because you get a last minute thing on a Saturday or Sunday. I got this James Patterson book. He was coming out with a new book, and I went out for 6 of his characters for his new book, and it just came in, rolled in on a weekend. And it's like voiceovers has been nonstop. It's a 24-hour business now since theaters shut down, since a lot of the film production shut down, a lot of on-screen actors, a lot of theater actors. They're like, oh, I'm going to do voiceover. So they're like all jumping ship to get into voiceover. And a lot of them are just going to crash and burn. They have no idea what it takes. I am a marathon runner. I'm a cross-country runner. I grew up with short-term, medium-term, long-term goals. So it's all about strategy and, you know, having a lot. And then so a lot of actors, people, and even people in general who aren't actors, they're like, oh, voiceovers, it seems so easy. I'm going to do voiceovers. But for voiceovers, like if you have a voice, that's awesome. But knowing how to utilize your voice, and it's such a specific thing. And then a lot of people play ideas of what it is, and it's not an idea, because when you're playing an idea, it's not real and authentic. And everything nowadays in 2020, everything for commercials, everything's authenticity. It's like, I'm talking to you right now, and this is who I am, and that's who I'm talking about. And then sometimes they'll give a celebrity prototype. Me, I get Rashida Jones a lot, Emma Stone, Alicia Silverstone, Scarlett Johansson, Demi Moore, because of that like raspy voice thing going on. And then sometimes they'll give an animation movie description of a character. Otherwise, they'll say, they'll give a clip of a podcast. And I'm like, so that's why 6 years ago, I'm like, I want to have my own podcast. Like these brands, these clients are giving me examples of podcasts. I'm like, yo, I want them to hear my voice and be like, we want Katie Chonacas for our voice. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens with the voiceovers when they give you references. Sometimes they'll give you like a YouTube link of a Nike commercial or Adidas commercial, of a commercial of like Common, something with spoken word, you know, to say, oh, we want someone who's like poetic, or someone who knows, like, have you guys seen Hamilton?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm obsessed.
Chad's obsessed with it.
I wanted to see it for years, and then on my birthday, 11/11, I had front row seats in my living room, Disney Plus, to Hamilton.
Yes,
I like that.
I cannot believe it took me that long to see it, but yo, I mean, what a great story.
Oh man, like I said, obsessed. I know every song by heart.
Wow.
It is that deep. But yes,
I remember we used to be at work and Chad be over there like bumping. I'm thinking he listened to like stuff. I was like, Chad, what you listen to? Oh, I'm listening to like Hamilton, man.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Chad, do you have a
great
vital of it?
history and knowledge.
It is. I love the way they just, and like we talked about that a little bit before the podcast, like how with science communication, how I like to make, you know, these ridiculous concepts, break them down and make them easy for people to understand. I love the fact that they did that with Hamilton. That's why I love it so much. You made these people that we look at as not even really being people. It's just like somebody that, like a legend or a myth or something. And then you broke them down and made them like people we see today. So it was just like, oh, okay, I can sympathize with this person, or he seems like I can see where his mindset was at. And then of course, putting it to a hip hop soundtrack, you know, that's just, you know, the icing on top of the cake, you know.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Like genius. And then
it is.
And then the choices he made and the story he told, and then what's happening, and then for them to strike a deal to make it available to multi-millions of people who can never go to New York City for like a Broadway show, because it was like sold out for years, and it was like the hardest ticket to get. So to make it like available and then to educate people, it's just, and then it's so cool. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Oh yeah. And
so circling back around with voiceovers, it's just been non-stop, and I'm so lucky, and I'm in deep gratitude that I'm represented by like creme de la creme, the best of the best. I'm like with one of the top 5 voice agencies in the world, and it's
awesome.
That's cool.
You know, they don't see you. It's just like they hear your voice, and you build a relationship with your voice, and it's like you show up every single time. And even if you're not selected, you know, like, because, you know, it's just like they're dealing with the people who they give direct offers to, but then those people are going to be on a show or sick or lose their voice or not available, or their ego gets too big. Well, I guess people's egos probably came down a bit because of the pandemic now, but
yeah,
you know, working from home
bit.
is so cool, and you can be anywhere around the world. Like, I can start a family, I can, you know, be touring with music or DJing or on set doing a movie. And it's like, you know, when you shoot a TV series, you like, sometimes you do like 3 episodes in one session, you know, and it's like, then you get all that residual paper, and it's like amazing. If you're in the union, you get all the residuals, you know, from, and it's so much fun, and like, it's your voice, and you get to make up these characters. Everyone called me, that's why I want Joshua to do my Cartoon Katie logo, Cartoon Katie. Like, they call me Cartoon Katie because everyone's like, are you real? Like, people will like look at people around me, they're like, is she for real? Like, is that your voice? Like, is she serious? Like, people, they're like, I'm like a walking talking cartoon. I'm like, yeah, this is me.
No, because I thought about
definitely.
that when I first heard you. I was like, oh, yeah, she's got a great voice for voiceover, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
And I heard the little voiceover sound bites that you posted on your SoundCloud. So you're very talented.
100%.
Definitely, yeah.
Because I definitely couldn't make my voice do all of that.
They're called demo reels. So in the industry, you have a commercial reel, and it's 1 minute long. And you know, you don't do the commercial reels the whole commercial. You just break up like 5 seconds of the best commercial, so you have like 10 to 12 spots in one commercial reel. And then an animation reel can be like around 2 minutes, and then you do a bunch of different animations. But when you do the animations, like, you need to have the music that goes along with the commercial. Like Taco Bell, you would have the proper music that would go for Taco Bell or McDonald's, you know, or, you know, same thing with animation. So it's you know, very detailed and specific of producing a demo reel. And you have to be very careful, because there's a lot of people who've been in the industry for a long while, and because of their clout and everything, they charge like $4,000, and they just like, it's like too much. But there are people out there, like, I produce demo reels and I do it for $2,000, and I direct them. So I'll, if someone needs a demo reel, like, I'll do their demo reel. I'll coach with them. I'll hear their voice. I'll see their vibes. I'll find their sweet spot, what they can do, what they can't do. You're like, oh, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I would work with you to see what you could do and what is your comfort zone. And you just do maybe just commercials, and that's your thing. Or maybe it's like, In a World, Don LaFontaine, you know, that famous movie In a World. Lake Bell, yo, she was a star. She wrote and directed it. I didn't know that until recently, but I love that film, and I love Lake Bell. Shout out. I hope I get to work with her like immediately. But like, you know, there's promos, and then there's animation. So we were talking earlier. So for me, it's like, the cool thing about animation voiceovers, you don't have to memorize everything like you do on-screen acting, because they can see what you're looking like. No one sees you. They just hear your choices as an actor. They hear your sound. And so I have my iPad, and I'm looking, and I'm reading it, but I've already done the study work, and I've already made my character choices, and I go to like record it, and I'm doing my thing, and it's great. Now there's something called like e-learning, there's industrial, there's in-house tech stuff. And like my music partner, Nikki Scorpio, who is a musical genius, where he's a part of the duo, The Sophisticated Psychos, my brand, he does audiobooks, like long ones, and all these character voices, and he can read all this informative stuff. And my friend, my producing partner, Alessandra Levy, he does voiceover, she's a boss, she can read all this copy. I can't. I don't have patience for it. I get like, no way. I'm wacky. Like I'm like, what? You can give me a piece and I can go nuts on you, and I can be so loud. And it's also amazing to be very, very loud and big in animation, because they can always bring you down. But if you start out so small, they're scared walking on eggshells to hire you and to work with you, because they don't know if they can bring you big. And in animation, you need to know to bring it up and down. Commercials, it's direct, it's very authentic. It's like you're talking to your neighbor, you're talking to your mom, you're talking to your brother, you're talking to someone, hopefully like excited about ordering pizza later or something.
Right,
But,
like me.
yeah, live integrate. But the e-learning ones with all the technical stuff, like coming out of my mouth, I have a difficult time with those kind of things. And that's cool. You have to find what your lane and what you're good at. So for you, since you're in that world and you know that language, you may be interested actually in voiceover and doing e-learning and more industrial tech kind of stuff where it's a lot of ongoing work with material, but it's very informative, but that's your natural love language or that's your natural sweet spot. So for you, it's just you're just saying what you already know and you can make some side money doing it. And it's like you can do it from home. So it might be something you're interested in,
Definitely.
Opposed to like learning different voices and putting and having different ranges. I mean, that's like a whole nother thing.
A whole different skill set, right?
And that's the cool thing about voiceovers. There's so many different areas, movie trailers, some of the things we just mentioned. There's so many video games. I mean, 2 weeks ago, and this has happened a couple times, I went out for 19 voiceover roles in one day.
Oh, wow.
In one day?
In one day.
In one day.
One day. And since everything's home recording, even before the pandemic, I was home recording. Because, getting in your car, driving to the agency, scheduling an appointment, it's like time, energy, it's like you want to see your team once in a while, like, hey, what's up? But it's like you also just like, let me get it in, let me get it in, let me get it in, and let's book the deals. You know what I'm saying? Let's make the paper. Let's have fun. So you not only recording 19 voiceovers and making 19 different choices for all of the characters, right? And having backstories for all those characters, editing it all and sending it in. And now so many people are doing the editing and sending it in, and they're using plugins, denoise, they're gating it, de-hum, reverb. Like, I mean, there's so many. I have all the plugins. Thank God I have a music partner. So like I have RX editor and I have all these things. But sometimes it's like I'm not the tech person. I just want to do the acting. You have a soundproof quality place. You do the acting. I do the choices. And then the audio engineer does those things. Like, that's not my responsibility. However, there's that fine line and balance. If someone is doing those extra kind of steps and they're going the extra mile, it's less work for them. Who are they going to go for? I don't know. So it's like, that's the kind of thing about the industry that you don't know when you're an actor. And some voiceover actors, they're into casting, they're into producing, because then they can hire themselves in projects. And it's like an actor, not only for voiceovers, but not only being a voiceover actor, a lot of on-screen actors, because of technology for years now, I produce web series and I produce a couple shorts through the union, through the foundation, and actors are creating their own content instead of like being kind of like a victim actor. Please notice me. I'm desperate. Hire me. No, it's like, I need to express this. I'm going to express this. And this is the project I'm going to do. And I'm going to call on my team here. And I'm like, yo, we're going to make this short. And we're going to do it our way. And we're going to do the press. We're going to market it. Like we, as independent artists, and with the way the world is with technology, we get to build our own brands and say what we want to say. It's a great time for artists. It's a beautiful time for artists to create.
No, I completely agree, and I was just talking about that with one of the previous guests we had on that was in music composition, and I was like, yeah, I think this is a wonderful time for artists because you have so many different fields you can be in. Because I see people monetizing off of YouTube. I see people, now Amazon has stuff for actors and voice actors and musicians, Netflix, Hulu, all these other avenues that, previously weren't there for, people that wanted to act. And, I think that's really good. So it's a lot of ways for a lot of people to get paid for their art. So I'm always up for that.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to ask, so it seems like because 19, I don't know, it might seem like, because I'm not in that world, but from the outside looking in, it's just like 19, auditions in a day, for me, it translates to like 19 job interviews or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Right. So would you say it's imperative for somebody that's serious about being in voiceover to have their own home studio?
Totally. And I consult with people, so I do industry coaching one-on-one. So
nice.
I grew up running, a little background about me. I grew up running cross-country running. So my dad was a runner. He turned me on to running. We have the same birthday, 11/11. What up, Dad? Planning on this. And I learned about short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals through strategy of cross-country running, which really set me up for life and how I view the world of having short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals, and like planting a seed with you and your team, planting a seed and sowing that seed and watering and nurturing it and growing collectively together. So that's kind of my vibe and who I am, because I ran on cross-country team. So I have a team, but what you do as an individual affects the whole, right? So it's like that's kind of like my metaphor and how I am. And then I'm Greek, so I have this passion and with this food and unconditional love and culture and diversity and traveling and everything. But to circle back around, everyone was like, for years, have your own agency, acting agency, have your own modeling agency, be a manager. Moms and dads were coming up to me 5 to 7 years later, like, have an agency, manage my kid. Like, they were telling me this. So then I was talking to my attorney friend, because I'm like, the thing about me is like, I'm an artist, right? I develop my left side of my brain. I develop the right side of my brain, and I'm an artist. And I know what it's like to sign a contract, and I know what it's like to say null and void and to jump ships and go to the next bigger, better deal, and how people don't have any loyalty in a lot of areas, and they get persuaded, and sometimes they're naive and sometimes they don't know, and we're human when we make mistakes and we don't know certain things. But the best investment we can make is in ourselves. Making an investment in another thing is a calculated risk. For me personally, since I'm an artist, I'm not starting my own agency and having 80 models or actors and watching them all pop off, or being a manager. And like my friend, he was, before pandemic, he was bald and chained, like working at a major management company they do major films, and he's bald and chained to his desk, and he's never been to Europe. He's never been anywhere. And he's strapped because if his clients need him, and they get 10%. It's like, yo, I leave for the summer. Like I'm sailing on yachts in the south of France, and I'm traveling Greece, and I'm going around the world. Like, I'm not being bald and chained anywhere. So I wasn't a manager because I didn't want to be in the stigma and the mentality of being stuck. However, there are other people who do things different ways. And with the blow up of the pandemic, you can be anywhere around the world managing people, right? So what I started doing was consulting. So I started doing consulting where I could do like an upfront fee, like a retainer, where I was like nourishing clients, doing one-on-one with them month to month, and developing them and giving them their own platform as a coach, because I know what it's like for the short term, medium term, and long term. And if I vibed with them and I had that passion, it was excited for me to see them win. Like, it was excited for my dad to see me run, and it was exciting for me to watch them build their career. But then after we're done, we're still friends. And it's like, it was an energy exchange. You got to where you want to go. It's a month by month thing, and it's a vibe. It's a cool, and they have their own legs, and they go off and they have good experiences, and they say I'm a ripple effect, and I support it and help them on their journey, and then they can refer people to me. So I started doing these like one-on-one consultations, and then I started doing like these coachings, these coachings every week. So what I'm doing now is I'm building a course. I'm building multiple courses, but the first course I'm building is just basic acting 101, and it's going to be like 4 to 8 simple courses, like 4 to 8 minutes, and they're going to be all in blocked areas, and it's going to be super affordable for actors for a one-time fee just to download, because I'm one person, and it takes a lot of energy to repeat the same thing over and over. So if I package it like a smart person and scale it, and I'm helping people on a macro level and charging them a minimal fee, but adding value, specific information, because of my 2 decades of experience, I think that's like amazing. And I haven't even thought about the terms of like, oh, if you're unsatisfied, like take your money back. Like I was going to do like $49.99. And then I was talking to my dad, And I'm like, I think I'll just do like $39.99. Like, because the thing is, I do life coaching and then I do industry coaching. And what I charge for my life coaching is so different than my industry coaching, because with the industry, you have to pay for headshots, you have to pay for a $500 mic, you have to pay for your interface, you have to get your home studio, you have to set up for coachings, you have to have,
that's a lot.
When I work with voiceover, when I do voiceovers, I have coaches I work with. I have directors who direct shows. I have directors who are successful, who work on shows, who are producers and casting directors who direct me. I pay them, and I pay them handsomely, or however you want to say it. I pay them because the thing is, Will Smith, his acting coach, Jennifer Lopez, like, you know, her acting coach, like, they have coaches on set with them when they're doing their movies. So he's not around, because I was studying with Fred Tucker, who he was partner at the studio over on Robertson, if it's still there. Will Smith's coach and Jennifer Lopez's coach wasn't there all the time, because he was always on set. Like, Susan Batson, I studied with her in New York City. She's Nicole Kidman's personal acting coach for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Juliette Binoche, Oprah for her movies, Madonna. That's how she met Zac Efron, when Nicole Kidman and Zac Efron did that amazing movie together. That's how she met Zac Efron. Because she's worked with Nicole. Nicole Kidman's never had an acting class in her life. She's only had a personal coach, Susan Batson. I used to study with her. I studied with her for a year straight. Like, I would be with her for 17 hours every single Monday. It was a 7-day program. On Mondays, it was like, we'd be till like 5 a.m, and we would like share a cab going Upper West Side together, because that's where she was living at the time. And then I had a Tuesday class with her that went till like 2-3 in the morning. But I was like intense, all in with it. So the thing is, like, yeah, I can coach these people. So I didn't do the agency, I didn't do the management, I did the consulting, because it's like, here, let me add value to you, but I'm not expecting anything in return, because I know how people are, and I know how I am, and I don't want to have the hook of like you owing me something. I don't do that. Like, I don't like that at all. So building this course is a really beautiful thing. So then people can have the basics of acting if they want to get involved in acting in 2021, right? Where it was, how it is, the vibe. So I'm going to start doing the acting 101, and then I'm going to do one for the basics of voiceovers. And then so many people are coming to me for podcasting. It's insane. They're like, how did you grow your podcast, and how did you do what you did in 1 year, right?
Right.
So
I want to know too.
I'll hook you up. I'll let you know. I'll hook you up and let you know, right?
Seriously. Awesome.
Yeah. So then I'll do one on the podcasting, because it's such a like new thing. I mean, I've been in it for a while, but it's a new thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I can give you some statistics on that. But anyway, circling back around, I'm going to do a platform so people can know more about acting, voiceovers, and podcasting. And then I think that will provide a lot of value and put it all under one umbrella. And then if there's additional questions and more things that people want to know, obviously I'll be there for them. I'll have like a private Facebook group, or they can contact me directly, and I can work with them one-on-one and develop from there. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. You know,
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Oh,
It's been
definitely.
a journey, and yeah, I've been learning a lot, and I'm excited to be able to take my God-given talents and what's been gifted to me and pay it forward with ethics, morals, and values, because I've been abused. I've been put in situations. I've put myself in situations wanting to be a part of the it crowd and wanting to be a part of this and that, and being exposed to certain things, and thank God I have a great head on my shoulders, and I am who I am, because there's been so many girls who would just do anything just for a designer bag. And it's like so pathetic of like people's worth and self-esteem, and how there's so many predators out there taking advantage of people because they had that exciting feeling that we have, and then they're predators and they take advantage of their vulnerability and their dreams. So as many people I can help, I'm getting chills. So as many people I can help out, that's the goal. That's the main goal, to open my mouth. I always tell my mom, God gave me these lungs for a reason. You're going to see one day, in addition to the cross country running, like I got these pipes for a reason. So I want to do good with it.
Well, we're really proud of you, and we think what you're doing is awesome.
Yeah.
And as far as what you were talking about with how the industry swallows up a lot of people. I think a lot of that, it's certainly not all. I don't want to make a blanketed statement, but a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to have parents like yours, right? Or parents, because a lot of what you said, and I love the metaphor that your father made about your running and how, you know, you get to your short-term goals and then your long-term goals, and how you turn that, what he taught you, into what you use now for your career and how you live. And that's amazing. Like, and I think your dad is very awesome for that. Seems like a really great guy. So that's pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of what me and my brother, like our dad, like what he would tell us, like it's right around in the same, you know, the same kind of area. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that aren't fortunate enough for that. And I appreciate that you want to be that person to give people like that guidance and let them know that, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. There's another way, another positive way to get to the goal that you want to have. So I think I think that's great stuff, Katie. That's awesome.
I think it is great stuff what you're doing.
Thank you. And many blessings for your father, you know, many blessings for your father.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. And that's the goal, like reach as many people as possible. And I think it's really cool with the podcasting because it's an opportunity to reach more people, to inspire people. So to be in spirit is to be inspired, right? So a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm bored or seriously, like people are bored. Well, if you're bored, like you're into yourself, like be interested. Like when you're interested, like, you know, find new things and be interested. If you're just bored in your circumstances, like get uncomfortable, break out of your circumstances, you know? And, you know, Miguel, who wrote The 4 Agreements, which is an amazing book, and Mastery of Love, he talks about, he and his son did the 5th Agreement as well. It's a whole book called The 5th Agreement. But the 4 Agreements, I've read that book many times. It's an easy read. It's 200 pages. You just read it in like 2 settings. Like you just like read right through it. It's like drinking water.
I'll check that out.
I don't know, like spiritual books, I can just like drink like water and get through them real quick. Some books, it's like I have to reread the same sentence like 10 times.
I get it.
Some just like spiritual books, it's like I'm drinking water, right? You flow right through it. But that, like for me, being a cross country runner, my dad's a social butterfly. I have a butterfly on. Props to your dad and my dad.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah. And so I'm a social butterfly, and I'm bopping around all over the place. And I ran cross country, and so I'm like, "Hi, how you doing? Hey, how are you? Good job." And that's what you do. Like when you're a runner, you're like, "Hey, good job. How you doing?" And then so I was always like that when I was around the world, and people just like look at me like, you know, and like they're like, "What do you want?" Or they like think I'm weird or something. But who cares? I mean, that's what they think. I'm gonna pass and go. But that's just my spirit to say hi. You know, sometimes.
Sometimes.
I just think that like got me out of the paradox of playing myself small. I was like this rebel without a cause or a rebel with a cause, like not wanting to conform to society's rules and be like in this box. I was like, I'm made to soar, roar, you know?
Yeah.
No, definitely. And
Totally
that's
understand.
funny because that's something I actually wanted to ask you because being somebody that's an actor or they do screen, stage, voice actor, it's definitely something to where you have to be aware of yourself, right? Especially like more so than a lot of other things where, you know, you kind of go through the motions and you're just like, okay, I'm doing this and, you know, I don't really know what I look like or what I sound like. But being somebody that, number one, you're definitely somebody in tune with your body because you were a cross country runner, that sort of thing. But as far as the acting part of it, like, let's say voice acting, for instance, like, did you always have a good understanding of what you sounded like? Because of course, you know, the voice that you hear inside of your head versus the voice that's projected is 2 totally different things. So, and that's something I didn't even realize until I started listening to myself on the podcast. And I'm like, oh God, that's what I sound like.
Right? I got to edit it so I hear it all.
So how was that process for you, especially with getting into voiceover? Was that like a learning curve or something you always had a hold on?
Yeah, it was an instinct. I just jumped right in. I think maybe because I heard a lot of times growing up, I heard so many things about my voice. I think it just gave me a natural confidence about it. Because people like always just told me like, oh, your voice is so unique. Like you have like people would always talk about my voice. So I think it just became normal for me. But the awareness that I could take it to another level is sometimes I get so excited and I'll like get in this higher register and I'll talk really fast that I'll forget to breathe and slow down. And that's where like the power is of like chilling out and slowing down. And so when I do that, it's kind of funny because I feel like I'm being like this seductress kind of woman and going low with my voice. But I think that's actually where like the big money is. I think that's where like I think that's like when they, like Bill Holmes, okay, is the boss man, and he's called the voiceover doctor. So if you want to know,
Bill Holmes.
Bill Holmes, yeah. So the Compros Productions, Bill Holmes. I'll introduce you to him, put you guys on the Instagram.
Yeah.
But you brand yourself. So I'm Cartoon Katie, and he's the voiceover doctor. So his thing is, if you want to know, if you want your teeth clean, you go to a dentist. Hopefully, a good dentist, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
If you want to know right now in 2020, going into 2021, the market of your voice and where you'll work, promo, animation, and he can just hear your voice. He's the doctor that will tell you your niche, like where he can work with you, like an hour session, and he'll be like, hey kid, do this, do a demo reel, do a promo, do a trailer, do an animation reel, do a commercial reel. So he's the voiceover doctor. So he's great. I love working with him. And so he told me I naturally have what everyone wants in voiceover. I have the golden voice in voiceover because I have that natural raspy thing that Scarlett Johansson has, Demi Moore, Emma Stone. They have that raspy thing for their voice. So I'm honored. I'm super honored. I'm very
awesome.
grateful.
That's cool.
So your voice, you get to, if you want, your sound, you're all podcasters, it's our instrument. So some people play the violin, some people are singing, reciting poetry.
100%. Yeah.
Our instrument is our voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
protecting our voice is super important. And knowing it's such a gift, our sound and what we share and how we sound. And we can play with sound.
Yeah.
Which is so fun.
I think so too.
Because yeah, Katie, I'm not to cut you off, Chad, but
no, you're good.
Yeah, but yeah, Katie, I was just casually scrolling through your YouTube, and I was listening to the spoken word you posted. I almost lost my heart in Monaco. Like, that was really interesting how you were just like, where were you at? Like, did you direct that or stuff like that? It was really interesting.
When you mean direct, do you mean visually directed, or did I direct the poetry, like the audio part of it? Like direct it I mean, I wrote the piece, but do you mean direct it like on what we shot it on a 7D?
Yeah, like the music, where you shot it at. Like, did you do all that stuff? Because it was visually really interesting.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I produced the whole thing. So what happened was, well, to give you some context, I'm a spoken word artist first and foremost. I'm a poet, right? And so I took my poetry and I put it on a mic and I recorded a cappella. And then I met a producer in Colorado, and I gave him my beats, and I gave him my voice, the acapella, and he built beats around my voice. And it's so unique because normally an artist gets the beat and then they write to it, but I do it the opposite way. And so I created a whole spoken word album. I put it up, and I've been thinking about putting it back up because I took it down because of this mentor who I confided in and listened to, but comes from the old model of focusing on one thing and didn't really understand me, but was trying to help. But just because someone has multi-billions of dollars and they're very successful and they represent some of the biggest artists in the world and they're giving you advice and they're trying to help you, that model worked for them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Exactly.
That's a big one.
So it doesn't matter who they are, who they represent, and how much money they have. And it's an illusion and you want it. So that's one of the key things I think we should talk about listening to other people, if you want to bring that, we'll circle back around that.
Yeah, of course.
That's a beautiful nugget. But so I took it down. But in my heart of hearts, it's a vibe, and it's pieces that I wrote, and I have an album, and I put it up. I took it down. But what happened was I was in Brazil, and I was shooting a TV show with the Halogen network at the time. And this producer contacted me, and they took 6 or 7 upcoming celebrities from one continent, America, to another continent, South America. And that's how I met O'Neal McKnight, who I'm really good friends with, and he's a musician. And do you guys know O'Neal?
I don't think so.
I gotta tell you all about O'Neal. He's amazing. He's great. You guys need to have him on the show. He's just so brilliant. Yeah, he's great.
Cool.
I'll introduce you, but he's so cool. So I was doing a TV show in Brazil, and I do music, but they pick different categories. So they had like America's Next Top Supermodel. So they had a model on one. They had O'Neal doing the music part because he does music, but he produces and he does a bunch of things. He's like Andre Harrell, God bless his soul. He recently passed. He created Uptown Records, and he's legendary, and he's produced some films, and he put Jessica Alba in Honey. And yeah, like he's really great. And like he gave Diddy his first job, washing his car. Diddy, like the story is Diddy would come on a train like 2 hours each way just to wash on Andre Harrell's car. He gave him his first job in the game, Andre Harrell, and this is O'Neal's cousin. Yeah, and God bless his soul. He passed this year.
Yes.
Well, O'Neal's great. He's married, has a child now, and he's super sweet. But the producer on the show, Tamara Park, she's an angel. She's awesome. She's like, O'Neal was living in New York. I was living in LA. He's like, you two need to meet. So when I go to New York, I'm going to meet O'Neal, or when he comes to LA, we're going to meet. And Diddy was doing this 3-day music video, and right down the street from my house, this like huge thing that they had upstairs, downstairs, with like the wardrobe and like 10 racks of all these clothes and like 30 models. And like I went and I like showed up and I met O'Neal. Oh, they had this like huge house, whatever. And so like we vibed, and then we've just been like really good friends ever since. But we were both on this TV show together. What's the TV show called? The reason why I accepted the TV show was it was about social justice, right? It wasn't just a reality show, because I've been involved. Like I was asked to be on The Hills, like in like 2006, 2007.
Yeah, The Hills.
And I was like, no way. I said, no way. This is what happened. This is exactly what happened. And then we'll circle back around to O'Neal.
Yeah.
But I got booked on a movie called Major Movie Star with Jessica Simpson, and I was playing her best friend, her makeup artist. And we were shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana. And this girl, Adriana, she was the brunette on The Hills. She was not working at her music job anymore, Interscope or whatever. And then she was going to come work for Emmett Furlow Films, which was a film company, and she befriended the producer, Randall Emmett. And so she was, and who produced the film. And so she was going to come over, and she was going to be our assistant. So she was going to be in Shreveport. I would go to the spa, I would go have massages. She would drive me. She would take my stuff to the cleaners. I got sick. I got like a cold or whatever. She would be the one to like bring me candies and treats and NyQuil, and she would be the assistant, and that would be her job on The Hills. Her working for a movie producer, and she would be on the movie of Major Movie Star, which is also great brand awareness for the producer, the production, for the movie. You know, and for it to be a part of, but I was just like, no, because I was still in the old modality of, you know, my posters was Meryl Streep and Reese Witherspoon, and those are the people I admired, although times have obviously changed completely. But I wasn't so sure of myself then, and I was a budding actor. Like I was a working actor already in TV on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, on Cold Case, and CSI New York. So I was on guest stars on popular network series, and I was I already booked a lead in the movie with Mark Jones, who put Jennifer Aniston in her first movie, that Leprechaun movie. He put me in my first movie.
Oh, wow.
This ventriloquist. It was called Triloquist. I was a lead in that.
Right,
So I was
Triloquist,
already
yeah.
working in films, but then I booked the major movie star, and it was an opportunity to be on The Hills, and I said F no, because it was all about gossip, and I grew up and I was like, gossiping, that like it's like a sin, like don't gossip.
Right, like
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let all these girls chatter and gab about me and like tear me apart. And Warren Buffett says you have 20 years to build a reputation, 5 minutes to destroy one.
To ruin
I'm
it.
like, and so I was scared. I wasn't empowered at the time. It's okay. It's the truth. I could have launched and got my own makeup line, or started my own charity, or got in more movies, or got more exposure, holding my own with my grace, with my power, with my morals, with my ethics and all that. But I was just getting going in my feature film journey. So I said F no to that one, and I wasn't on The Hills. And that was reality. Well, then 2009 came around, and it was the summer. I was in Marina del Rey, where they have all the beautiful fireworks every 4th of July. And my balcony was facing the water, where the boats had to pass my bedroom window to go out into the ocean. And I was there, and I got this opportunity from this producer who hired me on a movie. He was working for Brian Collin, and he and I have the same birthday, 11/11. And he was working as a producer in a movie, and he was working at this network, Halogen TV, and it was all about social justice. So it was like reality with making an impact. And in God's grace, I'm like, okay, I'm open to this. It's going to pay me some good paper. Fly first class on American to Brazil. I've never been to South America. I'm going to go to Brazil. I shot a TV show in Brazil, and my episode was all about fashion. So O'Neill's episode was all about music, and mine was all about fashion. So the producer, Tamara Park, wanted to connect us. And if I went to New York or he came here, well, he ended up coming to do the 3-day music video with Diddy. So we connected then. And then, yeah, lastly, I was in New York, and it was Andre Harrell's 50th birthday party. And I mean, anyone who's everyone
was
Spike,
there.
yeah, like Spike was there, Chris Rock was there, Nick Cannon was there, Diddy hosted it. The only two people who were not there was Jay-Z and Beyonce, because she was pregnant, and she was like pregnant. And then the other person who wasn't there was Mariah, because she was pregnant. But Nick Cannon, he came. But everyone else was there. Everyone else was there. And yeah, we're like having dinner and stuff. And it was a really epic, memorable moment. And just like hearing his words and hearing him speak, and just being in that vibe and the culture and the community of everyone was just really, really cool. So cool experiences and stories.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a really cool story.
That's a great story.
Seriously.
And moreover, on the topic of music, even more so, I was casually scrolling through your YouTube, and I saw your video with Nikki Scorpio, Vulnerable. Like, what was the process of making Vulnerable? And it was a really nice video and really great song, by the way.
Oh my God, thank you. I want to just backtrack real quick, because what happened was I was in Brazil shooting that TV show, right? And then when I came back from Brazil, the thing is, I didn't eat meat at the time. And so I ate a lot of French fries and a lot of Italian. And so when I came back, I was like, I want to say a little inflated, but to me, it's fine now. But I was in a bikini. But that music video, Landlin, he's a director, and he shot it on a 7D. And I had my friend from Australia, DeFore, who's a photographer. He's really cool. He had a friend who was a stylist, and she got all the clothes, and she came and she styled me, and a makeup artist came and she did my hair and makeup. And we went to Malibu right when I got back from Brazil from shooting that TV show. And we recorded I Lost My Heart in Monaco. And I Lost My Heart in Monaco was birthed when I was in France for the summer. and I met this German billionaire, and we were literally at this place called Jimmy's, which is the coolest place to be in Monaco. And it was the Grand Prix weekend. And so all the German billionaires, they come for the long weekend for the Grand Prix in Monaco. And I went to the Grand Prix where they actually like do it, like you saw it in that one movie with Robert Downey Jr. And so I'm on the track, and they're treating me like I'm Angelina Jolie there. Oh my God. In America, it's different. But in Europe, I was on the #1 TV station in Bulgaria. And during the Grand Prix, they had these huge screens, and they had me on the huge screens. And I was like, oh my God, in front of all these thousands of people. But I fell in love, like a summer romantic love, with this Constantine, like Johnny Depp, blonde hair, blue eye, long hair, like beautiful person. And I was sitting next to him, and Paris Hilton walked by, right? I love Paris. Love her. She's amazing. And so this is like a story of what happened when I was in Monaco, and I was just like reiterating my experience of, and I had these black heart earrings in, and he like went like this with my hair, and my earring fell out of my ear and onto my lap, and I got it. But I said I almost lost my heart. I almost lost my heart in Monaco. So it's
that's
like I
pretty
almost
cool.
lost my. It's poetic, right? So I almost lost my black
I didn't
heart
catch
in
that the first
Monaco
time.
at Jimmy's with Paris Hilton walking by, but I was also there on like a summer like holiday, and like completely fell head over heels for this like German. And I don't know if he's ever seen the video. He probably I think he has, because acquaintances the next summer told me they were all at like a holiday dinner in Miami, and like my name came up, and like his brother was there, his older brother, and they were all like laughing about it. So I think like they all know and stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. He was younger or whatever, and he never like courted me and contacted me and treated me the way that I know I want to be treated. So I haven't heard from him.
Understandable.
Yeah, there's a video. There's a video up there about him. Yeah. And if he's listening to this or ever hears, now he'll know some more stories, the truth.
Yeah, 100%.
My mouth to his ears. Yeah.
Exactly. No, that's
So that
quite
was kind of
the story.
Yes.
That's kind of the birth of the I almost lost my heart in Monaco. So I did the spoken word acapellas, and then I met a producer, and he put the beats to it. I released a spoken word album, and then I decided to take it to the next level. So I like art on art on art on art, right? Like people tell me like anything I touch I turn to gold. Like that's my thing. Like anything I touch turns to gold, hands down. So I took the acapella, put the beats on, and then made the music video, right? And then now there's the music video. And so that's how that burst. But moving right along, you were mentioning vulnerable. So all the videos on the Sophisticated Psychos YouTube channel, that's our channel that we're branding and building as a duo. That is a really beautiful story, because it was in December, the third week of December. It was like a new moon or a full moon, one of the moons. And that's a good idea. 1 second.
Oh no, go ahead. Let me get me a little something to drink myself. What you got over there, Katie? Is that some tea?
No, I just did water. I was thinking about red wine, but I'm like, I just did the water. Water. But I learned from last time, you know what I'm saying? Because we talked about what we talked about.
Yeah.
So, what's up, Suja? We're giving you a shout out. Send us
Shout
some boxes.
out.
We love what you're about. What? Suja. Super healthy, super green, super fresh, super clean. Right?
Yeah.
Super mean.
Super mean, yes. Yeah. Insert product here. Yeah, here we go.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Get the
Product
sponsor us.
placement. Right.
All about
Product
Suja.
placement.
Rebel's really good too. I love the reishi mushrooms in the Rebels. Oh my god, the turmeric is so good. The banana one's good too. We'll call them first, actually. Yeah, but they're always at like the love festivals and Lightning in a Bottle. They're at all the festivals. They totally like sponsor. So they're always like, here you go. And they're like handing out thousands and thousands. So I'm sure they'll be happy to connect with real artists who really believe in the mission brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. 100%.
Well Well's a good one too. There's this guy, his name's something, it's in my phone, but he named Well off my girlfriend, Jules Blackwell, who's an actor. She's fabulous. Oh my gosh, she's a Scorpio and so beautiful. But he named Well, it's all in the Whole Foods markets and the health food stores, after her. So I'll contact him too and see what's up for him to ship some cases over to us. But there's this watermelon one for hydration, and with us talking a lot all the time, we definitely need to keep up with our hydration. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of that, what do you use? Because you're in voiceover, you're an actress. So do you drink anything specific to help you out, like to help you not lose your voice, like when you're doing all these voiceover sessions?
I stay off the sugar. I really stay off the sugar. So when I'm looking at drinks, I always make sure I rather do no sugar, but if it has 10 grams, my rule is like if it's 10 grams or less, like if I'm drinking something, 10 grams or less of sugar. But I drink a lot of water. Like I probably drink 2 gallons of water a day. I've always drinking a lot of water because I ran cross country.
That is good.
And my mom taught me about hygiene at a really young age to keep my skin flossing and bossing and glowing,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love honey, and I have a lot of smoothies all the time. Like I love like vegan protein smoothies, like banana, blueberries, honey, things like that. Those are kind of things I do with my voice, and I take time out to pray and stay silent and rest.
Awesome.
So I do a lot of steams. I do a lot of steams to decompress and just like fill my lungs up with heat.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important to definitely reflect and get still and silent to be able to rebalance your voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Certainly. No, I believe in that.
Speak from the gut, because if you're speaking from here, which sometimes I do when I get excited, but always making sure you're, speaking from the gut, then you're supported. You're supporting your instrument, which is really important. And also, there's the Wim Hof breath. It's Wim Hof, and it's
Wim
like a
Hof.
10-minute Wim Hof on YouTube. And it's a 10-minute thing, and you just get so deep in your breath, and that really realigns and really gets you into your body. So you're not chest breathing. And another thing, like Shaman Harry Polly's one of our shamans in LA.
I had to take an acting class when I was in school because of my major. Because I was a film major in college, and we had to take like one acting class. And, like he would make us do like yoga. We would do like breathing, like we go and shaking it. Like if you would walk in the room, you would think we were crazy, but like we were doing breathing exercises. We did. He had us doing Taekwondo one day.
Yeah.
We was meditating before we would do stuff.
Yeah.
So it definitely like you got to get in like this rest position where your body already like rested. Like it's called what is it? Neutral stance. I forgot what it's called. It's been so long since I took it, but when you did that, it brought me back like to that class, and like you feel so good when you get that out, because it's like it gets all of that like negative energy and all that. You just out, and then you're more relaxed. And I definitely take my hat off to actors and, voice acting, stage acting, whatever. Because when I took that class, I didn't understand what they had to go through. And we were doing it for, like, stage acting. So it's even harder because they got to know, like, blocking. You got to know everybody's lines and stuff. So, like, I just take my hat off to you guys because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really important to be like, well, see, we're sensorial being. Like we were saying earlier, everything's a vibe. So it's like, it's yes or no. It's yes or no. Everything in between's the monkey mind. What people told you, what you're supposed to believe, what you've hooked yourself into, what you've told yourself to protect yourself from the truth. Like sometimes it's right there, but we don't see it. So it's called gateways in our brains. There's a dope book. It's called The New Primal Scream. It's this writer, for the doctor from the 80s. It's called The New Primal Scream, and it's called gateways. And sometimes it's right in front of our faces, but we don't see it because we block ourselves from the thing to protect ourselves. So we protect ourselves from ourselves. They're like mental blocks. So to unhook, to be inspired, to honor our body and our soul, it's like a heart, mind, body, soul experience, right? And you do all these exercises. I mean, the best thing I think one can do if you just want to throw in the towel is just turn up the music and shake every single bone and just dance and just get all that aura energy off of you, get all those low vibes up. Because in kundalini is raising the vibration, raising the energy. And so like if someone's out drinking and they're drunk or whatever, the next day you're like, oh, I have a hangover, your vibes are so low, right? But if you're like jumping out of a plane or having a conversation like this and you're feeling high, like all our vibes are so high, our kundalini has risen, our vibes are so high, and we're like collective beings, and we're sharing this energy with one another, and it's going on to one another, right? So it's like, it's so important when you're telling a story, like, you know, there's different kinds of acting, but you know, if it depends if you're doing a drama or a comedy. But you definitely, if you're doing a comedy and we're sticking positive vibes and colorful over here, you definitely want to, like, you know, like get into a shift of a vibration where you're not being in your inner critic with your same. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, neuroscientist, says we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts, and most of those are negative thoughts. So knowing this, going around the track 60 to 70,000 times a day, and you know they're negative thoughts, that's why I love to travel. That's why I love meeting new people. That's why I like being adventurous. That's why I love being the number one emotion, curious. Like anyone who says they're bored, it's like, get curious, get interested, you know, like in what you're doing. And like my mind was blown. I was seeing like your drawings and your writing and, you know, all the things that you guys are into. It's so it's like,
thank you,
you know, because
because
it's firing and wiring. So our brain, we fire and we wire and we fire and we wire. But what we get to do is unfire and unwire. So this shift in vibration right now is going in the flow of where we want to be. But like dealing with the same conversations on the hamster wheel, going over round and round in the circle. I mean, that's firing and wiring the same old repetitive stuff. So we want to unwire by shifting our focus and our vibration to fire and wire new things that excite us.
And now a word from our sponsors. The Square Roundtable podcast is brought to you by Two Photon Art. Two Photon is an art collective whose primary mission is to make science more accessible through science communication and art. Some of their art includes science-themed patches, jewelry, stickers, zines, and clothing, all of which contribute to the inclusivity, equality, and the overall advocacy for human rights in and out of the scientific community. You can find all of these wonderful pieces on twophotonart.com. And for all our YouTube viewers out there, we will add all of their website and social media info in the description below. Hey, all you freaks and geeks out there, we are the Square Roundtable. The Square Roundtable podcast is brought to you by Science on a Postcard. Science on a Postcard is an online store that specializes in science-themed enamel badges, lanyards, environmentally friendly tote bags, notebooks, and lots more goodies that represent individuality and inclusivity in the scientific community. You could find all these wonderful products on scienceonapostcard.com. And for all our YouTube watchers out there, we will add their website and all their social media platforms in the description below.
But yeah, Katie, I would love to say, like, it's been nothing but a pleasure having you on today. Like, we really enjoyed you so much.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. 100%. It's been a great talk.
You guys are so sweet. you. I'm so touched. Thank you. That's so sweet.
You make it easy on us. You made it like way too easy. Like it's been like it's really been an organic conversation. You know, that's really all we can ask for at the end of the day. And you know, and honestly, I would want you to let our viewers and listeners know. Number one, where they can find you on social media, and you know what projects you have coming out, so they'll all know. And everything, of course, guys, we'll put in our description below. So yeah, Katie, what you got going on?
Yeah, definitely. I would just go over to the Sophisticated Psychos YouTube channel, subscribe. We have weekly videos coming out, improv videos, music videos, educational videos, products we believe in. We're honoring other artists and putting them on our platform as well. Everything's entertainment, health, wellness, education. We're really big into mental health. We're on the Sophisticated Psychos music streaming platform everywhere. And then, you know, Chonacas.com, my last name is Chonacas. On there, you can subscribe to my monthly newsletter. I would love to have you on my monthly newsletter. And there you can find my social media handle, which is Chonacas as well. And then I created a She's All Over the Place podcast Instagram, so y'all can follow there as well. And then also, lastly, just go to the Sophisticated not the Sophisticated Psychos. Yeah, go there for sure. But you can go to She's All Over the Place podcast, subscribe there, listen to a bunch of episodes. If you want to know about something specific, you can reach out to me, email me, write me a message at imaginekatie@gmail.com. And if you want to know more about voiceovers or DJing, I can send you the link on which episode you should specifically listen to. Or if you're going through something with like anger or something with spirituality, I can direct you to a specific episode. Otherwise, just like, you know, leave a review and let me know what you thought about the episode. And yeah, that's how you can find me. I'm around and I'm here for you. And I'm excited to be here and honored. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you were 100% welcome. And yes, guys, all of our viewers out there, we will put all of Katie's information in the description below. And definitely, please check out her podcast. She's all over the place because it is amazing, and she is amazing herself. But yes, guys, guess what time it is?
Shameless promotional.
Shameless promotion.
Of course. So we are the Square Roundtable Podcast, and you can catch us on Major Zone Music every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Central Time, and 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
And you can find us on YouTube on Fridays at the Square Roundtable Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you hit the notification bell, leave a comment, and like the video. We love reading comments.
Yes, hit that bell, guys, for everybody on YouTube. And yes, you could know whenever we drop any videos, and then comment, guys. You know, we always like reading comments and, you know, talking and nerding out with you guys. So definitely, guys, under our videos, leave some comments so you could talk to us. And please, also, I almost forgot about it. Right, and follow us, friend us on our Facebook group, the same name, the Square Roundtable. And, you know, you'll get updates on new videos. You'll be able to chat with all 4 members of the Square Roundtable, and we post memes and everybody's art, music, all that good stuff, guys. So come check us out. And and once again, man, we have been the Square Roundtable, and I would love for everybody to introduce themselves one more time before we sign out. And I'm your host, Chad Singleton.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No,
go. I was just so excited. I just wanted to say one request. One request, like if everyone could just drop a comment in the YouTube section and on Facebook, just drop a comment of a gratitude of something that you learned in this episode. If you gain some insight or value, and share it with someone that you love or someone that maybe needs to hear this message for uplifting them. If they're, you know, an artist or just into mental health or into positivity and like, you know, needs to hear something. So definitely leave a comment and let us know like what you thought about the video and some gratitude. It's really important to be inspired and and be in gratitude. And I would just love to read all the comments in the near future of your gratitudes. It would just put a really big smile on my face and warm my heart. And yeah, and I'll just send the love right back.
Awesome. Yes, please. Definitely, guys. Good stuff. Please comment. Definitely.
Yes.
But yeah, guys, I am Chad Singleton.
Dimitri.
Josh Singleton.
Marcus.
And I'm Katie Chonacas. Woohoo!
And this has been the Square Roundtable, and we are out.
We out.
Square Roundtable.
Hey guys, this is Chad from the Square Roundtable. If you like part 1 of this podcast, guys, definitely check out part 2 on the Square Roundtable YouTube page. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell because you won't get notified.